see the ground and the fire's
I
edge.
need a
Immediately
3/4 log. Where there we go.
resources on the ground and
Perfect.
you're
Look
trying to
at
attack
that.
the fire's
It's like I
edge,
know
you
what
know
I'm doing, bud.
exactly where the fire's edge and
It's crazy.
takes them out that way. A lot of them here. So, next question is, what is the difference between hand line and line construction? So hand line is the removal of, well, hand line is a break in the fuels from the edge of the fire. So hand line construction is the process of putting in that hand line. So it's a removal of flammable vegetation from the fire's edge back a certain distance based on the height of the fuel. So the higher the fuel, the wider that hand line needs to be. The bulldozers do the same thing, just mechanically, and quicker. But the bulldozers are limited to terrain, so they can't go down into steep terrain too much. And the last question I have is their active fire. So there's no active fire right now in the sense that you're going to see, any of the big fire runs, flames going up a hillside. The fire right now is contained inside. It's being held inside of the perimeter that we've built with the hand line that I explained, bulldozer line, and then hose lays that the firefighters have put on the ground. But there's still active heat along the edge. So that's what they're in there working on right now, trying to remove all that heat, all the stump roots and just ash material that's burned down, get rid of all that heat so that it cannot get into the flammable vegetation anymore.
Hello again, Christian Litz Operations. So we got a couple more questions here. How do I access the PSPS areas and potential shutoffs? You can go to www.sce.com and visit the outage map. That'll help you understand those areas. Are gas lines destroyed? Yes. So when I talk about infrastructure repair, this also ties into when people could repopulate the areas where they live. We talk about we have to make the areas safe. So infrastructure is everything from Edison or the power lines from gas company to everything that's utility. So water, everything that is infrastructure, that's what we're talking about. So all those have been damaged in the neighborhoods, in the Palisades, Temescal Canyon, and anywhere that there's been substantial damage with the structures. How are you caring for wildlife? So whenever we come across injured animals, whether it be wildlife, domestic animals, anything that we find, we take it very seriously. We care about the animals in the area, especially the wildlife. So we call animal control, and they're the experts in the situation. They'll come up, get the medical care that the animal needs for, and also work on returning the domestic animals back to their owners. We have several questions about if certain areas are safe and if there's any threats. So specifically, the questions were referring to Sherman Oaks, Santa Monica, Brentwood, and Crestwood. So if you look at the fire footprint of the fire in the last 24 hours, it has not moved, even though there's a lot of heat sources around the edges that we still have to work to improve the lines, secure the edges, and work getting rid of those heat sources. It still has not moved. I'd like to say there is no threat, but in the wind event that we have, there is always a threat, not necessarily from this fire, but also from new starts. So still keep an eye out on the alerts out there. Still do things that you can do to build defensible space around your homes, and just pay attention to the media and the alerts out there just in case anything happens, and be ready to go if you need to. When could we repop? 3 questions is Rustic Canyon, Topanga Canyon, and Encino. So talking about repopulation, we will not allow people into their homes until it is safe to do so. So we want to make it safe again. So that, again, going back to the infrastructure to make sure the infrastructure is there, at least the basic minimum amount, so that they're safe as they're living in their homes. Also, fire safe. So we want to make sure that we get rid of any heat sources. We want to make sure that there's not a lot lot of
Thank you
times
so much for the share. I
it's
appreciate it.
not safe for the fire personnel or the public if they're in there mixing around. And we have USAR teams, which is search and rescue teams out there making sure and looking for things and making sure the area is safe structural wise. We have hazmat resources out there they're looking at and make sure there's no hazardous materials that could harm any of the public as they go back to their homes. So again, we're going to let you in as soon as we can. That is the utmost important to everybody on this team and the agencies that work in the area. But again, we want to keep the public safe. That is our number one concern. Thank you.
Good evening again, Rich Thompson, Instant
So
Meteorologist.
after this weekend, like Monday, Tuesday, they expect really bad conditions again.
Firefighters, the fire is producing little if any smoke. So that's a good thing for air quality. However, I think anyone who's
It's going to be a while. It's definitely going to be a while.
The air quality is probably definitely poor just because you have both the wind blowing up all that ash and all the particles from the buildings that have burned, chemicals in the air and so forth. So anyone who's going into the fire perimeter or in or around the fire, I think should probably wear some sort of mask or some sort of protection for the respiratory system, especially if you're older individuals, more sensitive respiratory issues, things like that. The other question is a good one. What does the red flag alert mean? Red flag alert mean? Red flag. The National Weather Service issues red flag warnings. We issue these red flag warnings to advise the fire agencies, both federal, state, and local, of an upcoming weather event that could pose some very serious fire threats. The possibility of rapid fire spread and extreme fire behavior. So the National Weather Service issues these products anytime there is those critical conditions developing. It could be a combination of winds and temp and RH, like with Santa Ana. Could be for thunderstorms and dry lightning in the summertime, or just kind of anything else we've deemed that is significant enough to give the firefighters a heads up that there are some very potentially critical fire weather conditions coming down the road. And so they take the red flag warning issued by us, the National Weather Service, and they make certain staffing decisions, pre-positioning of resources, things like that, based on based on their concerns with red flag warnings.
Good evening again. We received a question as to why
Ooh, he has a pew pew. Ooh.
Who's that?
The guy that's on the community meeting. Looks like a lieutenant. From PD.
Somebody call the cops!
Somebody got cops!
His dick is out!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's right, we're live. We're going to jail. Listen.
Oh, that's right. Oh, crap.
It wasn't going to last forever. Okay. I made it a pretty good.
Hey, I'll give you that. You did good. I'm proud of you. Don't keep on slipping up though. You're still doing
It's a work in
good.
progress.
Hey, A for effort. That's it.
I don't care what the wife say. I could be a real boy.
I took a question here. Will there still be a police presence once the evacs have been lifted?
Yo, that moose just...
Woo, he just kicked the living heck out of you.
Evacuation orders are lifted. We will enter into a phased approach to the repopulation of the area. So throughout this process...
That looks like a deer hide.
Patrols, for the repopulation process. So,
That better go on your freaking wall.
to support the community in the recovery through this incident. Thank you.
Yeah, this is coming along pretty over here.
It is nice.
All right. Good evening again. A couple more questions here that I got. One of them is...
Oh, that'd be cool if you could put it right there in the middle.
So the red flag that was described earlier, that red flag warning is not an evacuation warning, but it does need to be paid attention to. So,
Oh.
No!
Oh no!
Awareness, have your go bags packed, and be ready to evacuate if that notification comes out. It's telling the fire
Gotta back up.
agencies and the public because it's available.
Ooh, no. The head.
You probably see it on the news media, but that is telling you that we have.
That looks cool as hell.
That is really cool.
To potentially, if there is a fire, produce a more
Uh.
rapidly developing fire, rapidly spreading, and the need to evacuate quickly. So when the red flag warning is up, definitely heightened sense of awareness and pay attention to your evacuation order and warning processes. And one more here that I got is why are folks still evacuating? So we talked about
Okay, I
a little
like
bit
that.
earlier by a few of my partners. There's still a lot of dangers in there. So there's still power poles down. There's wires on sidewalks. There's still some smoldering buildings.
God,
that
it's
need to
already
be
midnight.
dealt with. We want that area completely safe. The utility companies are in there working, doing their work to get gas, make sure all the gas lines are off. There's no leak there. The power companies are working to make sure that there's no electrical hazards, and the fire department, the firefighters are in there working to make sure that there's nothing left burning, so that nobody gets hurt when it is opened back up for evacuation. So that's the reason. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jim Hudson. I'm the.
When are you going in now?
Cal Fire Team 2 representing.
Not sure.
The Unified Incident Command for this incident. We've been monitoring the questions.
Trying to see if I'm
questions tonight.
tired, or
There is a trend to
tired of that.
We are well aware that people are
Well,
concerned.
let's see if
and wanna
this
get
game
back
wants to work
their
tonight.
properties and get home.
You gotta give me at least 2 more hours.
Yeah, that's not happening. It does.
No? Come on.
Yeah, maybe 30 years ago.
You even took a nap.
It's not viewable like it was earlier.
No, I did.
We were actively working to extinguish all those
I was supposed to.
and make sure that with the red flag event that's come.
Oh, so you lied to me. I got it.
You lied to me.
That's cool. You lied to me.
You lied to me.
How'd I lie to
You
you?
didn't. You said you were taking a nap, and you were like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even take one." So shut
I
up.
tried to. I tried to.
I tried to.
You didn't say that. You said you just didn't.
No, I tried, and then Crystal came home with the kids.
Good night.
The Eaton fire alone is the second most destructive fire in California history. It's insane.
For now.
What do I need? 3 fire trucks? Okay. Need me a hazmat.
I'm happy to say that there's very little activity around the fire's perimeter when it comes to visible flames. However, we do have a lot of heat along the edges, so we're working very hard to mitigate any of those sources so we don't have any unwanted activity. If I start up here on the top, I'll start at Dirt Mulholland that we call here on the north side of the fire, the north right side. It's all looking really good as far as the same footprint it has been since for the last 24 hours. However, we do have a amount of resources.
BK, have it your way.
There's no heat that can cause any issues or any wind bursts that could blow it over the line. So we're working on that. Coming down into Mandeville Canyon Road with those community there, we still have resources all around the structures. Up behind them, cutting line on top of them, which is separating the fuel from the black and the green. And that allows us to ensure that there's a very limited probability of any kind of escape. Also, those resources are getting behind those structures, getting rid of any isolated heat sources so that it could not impact any more structures. As we come down to Westwood, and down into Riviera, all the way to the coast bordering Santa Monica. Everything's looking really good as far as activity. It's down, but we still have those heat, so we still have resources deep inside those structures, concentrating on the structures that are standing up, making sure that we don't have any adverse fire damage to those structures. Continuing along Pacific Palisades, and then down to Topanga, the beach side, Las Flores, and all the way to Malibu there on the bottom left of the map, same story. We have a lot of resources still going around all the structures that are standing, taking care of the heat that are the structures that have been destroyed. We also have some infrastructure repair happening around PCH there, so that's going really good, trying to get things back, so get people back in their homes as soon as possible, but that can't be done until the entire area is safe. Interior, again, there's structures inside, still have that presence. Everybody's still working really hard out there. Proud of our firefighters. They're not giving up. They're still working. Not gonna stop working until everything's taken care of and made safe for the public that we serve. Going back over here to the left side of the map as we move up into the area of Montanito, again, that line is very minimal activity. We still have heat using flights from the airplanes up there. And using helicopters. We still have minimal helicopters in the air for need, but they're still up there helping us find those heat sources so we can pinpoint the resources so they can go right to that.
I might as well say goodnight to you now since it looks like you're gonna leave me. And I don't want it.
You're ridiculous.
I don't want it. I don't want you
Hey,
to go.
Deontay Johnson got waived.
Hello or goodbye.
He got released by the Ravens on December 20th, picked up on December 23rd by the Texans, and then released yesterday by the Texans.
Jesus.
It's all your fault. You guys ruined another receiver. Literally all you do is ruin wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver.
Story of my life, bub. Maybe we're just better off just giving our team to the Eagles.
I can't believe that guy became the #1 author on Amazon now.
The what?
That book that A.J. Brown was reading on the sideline, the guy is now the #1 selling author on Amazon.
Jesus. Dude, I'm telling you, I told the wife that was a stunt. That had to be. He had to be getting paid for that.
No, they said he has it on the sideline all the time. Most of the guys just never seen him actually read it on the sideline.
Yeah, he has it on the sideline all the time because he doesn't read it. He does know how to read.
You don't know how to read.
That's why I watch videos.
And you're still blind.
That's why I listen to videos. Very loudly.
Very loudly.
So again, critical fire weather conditions, red flag warnings in effect until 6 p.m. Wednesday evening. Now by Wednesday evening, Wednesday night.
But yeah, it seems that, my old age is catching me today.
All right, bud. You have a good night. I'll talk to you later.
I'll be on in the morning, waiting
right,
for
bud.
you. You never
Sounds
show
good.
up.
I actually have been on almost the past few days early, and you haven't been on.
I'm on every morning.
I look every morning, and you're not there, so I don't want to hear it.
No, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, fake news. Okay, good night.
Okay, sure.
See ya.
Los Angeles Fire Department. Good afternoon, everybody. Joe Everett, part of the incident command team representing Los Angeles City Fire Department. I just want to thank the public. The amount of resilience you've shown as the dust settles is unbelievable. I've had people of the public I know that their house burned down, and they're asking me what they can do to help. The better question is, what can I do to help? Or even the better question, how can we help each other? The second, just small story I want to tell you. I had some business here in base camp today with a member of our public safety partners with the Los Angeles County lifeguards, running a vital role in the base camp today. I asked him how he's doing, and he said good, despite the fact that his house burned down, and so did his parents. And he's in there working because it means more to him to be a part of this community and rise above the ashes than anything else right now. It helps him get his mind off it. On to business. LAFD repopulation is our top priority right now. Our top priority is a safe return back home, okay? So doing that, what we're doing is we're conducting thorough damage assessments, and we're in partnership with our USAR teams, our hazmat teams, and LAPD. The second thing is once we complete that, we're going to collaborate with city entities, those being Department of Water and Power, Gas Company, Public Works, LA City Building and Safety, just to name a few. We'll keep you updated because I believe that's vital information. Again, I want to thank you for your support throughout this tough situation. Also, for the most up-to-date info, I'd like to give you 2 emails. We'll also discuss it again as we move through this press conference. That's emergency.lacity.gov. And the second one that you may be familiar with is lafd.org. Please go to those for your most up-to-date information. Thank you.
Los Angeles County Sheriff.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Commander Christine Coles. I'm with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, serving as the Unified Incident Commander from the Sheriff's Department Incident Management Team for the Palisades Fire Response. I'd like to provide you an update on our operation. We currently have over 100 Sheriff Department personnel, including search and rescue personnel and National Guard personnel assisting with the operation. Our department personnel are currently deployed on missions which include looter suppression, evacuations, road closures, humanitarian relief, and roving and security patrols. Currently, no new evacuations are being performed. As of this afternoon, we have made 7 arrests related to the Palisades fire involving looting, unauthorized entry into an emergency area, battery on a peace officer, and additional charges for weapons and narcotics possessions. We currently have 5 confirmed deaths as of this afternoon within the LAFD jurisdiction due to the Palisades fire, and there are currently 3 missing person reports. The curfew was established earlier over the weekend and is still in effect from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. and until further notice. The curfew will be strictly enforced, and we urge all individuals to comply with the curfew to avoid the affected areas unless you're authorized personnel. Any unauthorized personnel will be subject to arrest. In collaboration with LA County Fire Urban Search and Rescue Team and multiple other agencies, search and rescue operations are being conducted in designated areas which have been affected by the fire. The goal of the searches is to ensure the areas are made safe prior to entry and to ensure that every resident is accounted for. I know that community members are very anxious to return to their homes, but your safety has to be our primary concern. There are many areas where fire personnel are still working and search and rescue operations are ongoing. There is damage to roads and guardrails and large debris blocking the roadways. Thorough searching must be conducted to render these areas safe and to provide conclusion for those that have been reported missing. We're in constant discussions to determine whether repopulation is possible, but we do not currently have any firm dates for the opening of any of the affected areas. We appreciate any patience and understanding that you have for us during this tragedy. Thank you.
Los Angeles County Fire.
Good afternoon. My name is Robert Harris. I'm Deputy Chief of Los Angeles County Fire Department. I oversee the Central Operations Bureau, and I'm also one of your Unified Incident Commanders. I'd like to give you our damage assessment report numbers. As of today, 35% of the damage inspections have been completed for the Palisades incident. For residents seeking that information, please go to recovery.lacounty.gov to view the map showing our current damage assessments. Please note that this information is updated on a daily basis. As indicated by our meteorologist, severe fire weather will continue through tomorrow. Therefore, these winds will produce hazardous fire behavior situations for our firefighters on the line. We ask for the patience of our residents as we continue to hold our current posture as far as preparedness for this fire behavior. We understand that the shutoff of the power can be of inconvenience to our residents, but we ask that you please be patient and understand that the shutoff of the power is necessary to prevent the growth of any large fires. We also ask that our unhoused neighbors do not start any warming fires during this fire weather event. Anyone experiencing homelessness shall seek shelter through the Los Angeles County or the city so that we can ensure that you have housing during this period. Repopulation, again, as been stated, will not occur until all areas are deemed safe. Your safety, again, remains our primary concern. Resources for residents impacted in the fire areas are available at lacounty.gov/emergency. On another note, I am happy to share that our LA County CL 415 that was struck by a drone earlier during the firefight has been repaired and is now available for response. In order to prepare our residents, we just would recommend that our residents go to fire.lacounty.gov/RSG for ready, set, go, and set to leave, and be ready to leave in the event of an evacuation and or order. And also, we would encourage you to double check to make sure that your cellular device is not set to prohibit any type of alerts in the event of an evacuation or evacuation warning or order. Lastly, I'd like to continue to recognize just the support that we continue to receive from Supervisor Lindsay Horvath, all city, state, and local officials, and our public safety partners that have been steadfast in their leadership and support through this unprecedented disaster. And to our first responders, we want to just say thank you for your continued dedication, resilience, and courage, and your commitment during this catastrophic event. Thank you.
Los Angeles Police Department.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Commander Steve Embrick. I'm the LAPD Incident Commander assigned to the Palisades Fire. I want to let the public know that as we enter into another period of dangerous high winds, we remain deployed, ready to assist with any additional evacuations should the need arise. While peak winds are not expected to be as strong as the last week's wind event, they still pose a threat. If you are asked to evacuate, please listen to all evacuation orders as if they are a life-saving measure. As has been the case over the last few days, the LAPD is focused on maintaining your safety and the safety of your properties as we move forward. LAPD officers are still performing increased patrols in the areas impacted by the fires, and we ask that for your continued support and cooperation, especially with our officers who are deployed at various checkpoints throughout the evacuation zones. We understand the public's frustration and your desire to see your homes firsthand. Until CAL FIRE tells us that the impacted areas are safe for repopulation, we cannot allow you to return. I am pleased to announce that the LAPD will be partnering with Team Rubicon, which is a non-governmental organization. Volunteers from Team Rubicon will be present and available at our traffic control points through the Palisades Fire impacted area to provide and share information to the community members and to the public at large. For the upcoming 24-hour period, LAPD will continue to deploy approximately 500 officers to the impacted areas with the support of the Los Angeles Airport Police, Port Police, and National Guard, who have deployed over 500 soldiers who are assigned to the Palisades incident. We are very grateful for their support. We are supporting the fire area with these badly needed resources. We'll continue to respond to calls throughout the city. I would like to thank our LAPD officers who are working hard on overtime away from their homes and families, going the extra mile to keep Los Angeles safe. We are actively investigating all reports of missing persons and have dedicated resources to these efforts. As of this morning, we have 35 reported missing. 20 of those have been found safe. 2 have been found deceased. 13 remain unaccounted for. However, none are presumed to be deceased, but have yet to be positively identified. Arrests. Total number of arrests in the Palisades related to the Palisades fire incident are 14. 3 are for failure to obey curfews, 1 for impersonating a police officer, 1 for impersonating a firefighter, 2 unauthorized entry into closed emergency area, 1 DUI, 1 vandalism, 1 possession of ammunition and burglary tools, 2 for burglary, 2 for conspiracy to commit burglary. We have 3 noteworthy arrests throughout the outside fire zone, very significant to our efforts as we continue to battle fires that threaten our community. On Sunday night, our North Hollywood officers responded to a call of a possible arson suspect who was using a barbecue lighter to light fires. Officers arrived on scene, and the suspect was arrested for an outstanding felony warrant for arson and booked into Valley Jail section. On Monday, 2 additional suspects related to the fires. The first took place at 5700 block of Van Nuys Boulevard at approximately 16:30 hours. Our West Valley officers responded to a radio call of an arson suspect who had ignited nearby brush. Upon the officers' arrival, Los Angeles Fire Department was at scene, extinguished the fire, and directed the officers to the possible suspect who was taken into custody without incident. That suspect was also booked at Valley Jail section. Looting is not just a crime against property. It also takes away any sense of security from evacuated residents, and it will not be tolerated. LAPD officers are working around the clock to prevent looting in the impacted areas, and we identify and apprehend those responsible. However, we cannot do this alone. We need your help. We are asking that members of the community should join us in the effort by reviewing your personal security footage, whether from Ring cameras, home security systems, or other recording devices. Even seemingly small details like this can make a big difference in our investigations. If you notice anything suspicious or potentially connected to these incidents, please report it to us immediately. You can do so anonymously through Crime Stoppers by calling Los Angeles Area Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or by visiting lacrimestoppers.org. You can also provide information regarding the Palisades fire by submitting tips by texting ATFLA to 63975, then follow the link to create a report. Our collective safety depends on the partnership between the police and the community. Together, we can ensure that those responsible for the crimes are brought to justice and our neighborhoods remain safe. Animal Services started their efforts to support residents and would like to check on pets who have been left behind. To help residents gain access to pets that were left behind, Animal Services is accepting calls by creating a list for CAL FIRE to assist with facilitating reunification with pets. The phone number is 888-452-7381. You will need to follow the menu options to place your request. Additionally, between 8 and 5 p.m., you can call 311 and ask for the West Los Angeles Animal Shelter to check on a pet. You can also go to the shelter in person, which is located at 11361 West Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, or to the command post located in Zuma Beach and request to speak to law enforcement liaison officer. This shelter will require you to provide identification and authorization to enter your residence, as well as a key or key code to gain access. In closing, I want to reiterate that our department is committed to the recovery efforts for however long that takes. We will continue to work alongside our partners and to make sure that the community has the resources you need to recover and ultimately rebuild. Thank you for all your patience and cooperation during this difficult time.
Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Medina, Medina, and I'm the acting special agent in charge of the LA Field Division. I would first like to send my condolences to all the Angelinos during this tragic time. These wildfires have caused immeasurable heartbreak and incomprehensible losses. As many of you already know, due to the size and scope of the Pacific Palisades fire, ATF was requested to lead the origin and cause investigation alongside our partners. ATF possesses unparalleled expertise in determining the origin and cause of fires, even under the most complex and challenging conditions. ATF had certified fire investigators on scene providing initial assessment on Friday. During that survey, we determined we would bring out an additional expertise. We activated ATF's National Response Team, which we refer to as the NRT. This is the 7th NRT activation this fiscal year and the 927th time since the program began in 1978. The NRT offers a comprehensive set of resources for fire investigations, including certified fire investigators, chemists, electrical engineers, accelerant detection canines, and state-of-the-art fire research laboratory. The NRT is comprised of 3 regional components organized geographically to cover the United States. The team provides an immediate and sustained nationwide response capability, deploying within 24 hours of notification. Approximately 20 individuals arrived from around the country over the weekend. In addition, we have 10 additional agents from ATF's Los Angeles Field Division dedicated to this investigation. The NRT is also supported by ATF's intelligence research specialists, digital media specialists, and other technical experts within ATF. The NRT also has individuals who possess wildland fire investigator certifications. Yesterday morning, we had our initial in-briefing and began collaborating with our partners from LAPD, LA Fire, CAL FIRE, U.S. Forest Service, and the U.S. Attorney's Office, along with the District Attorney's Office. Within ATF personnel and our partners, together there are about 75 dedicated personnel. The NRT started by breaking investigators down into 2 components, a group that processes the scene and a group that follows investigative leads. The team processing the scene went out yesterday and was out there again this morning at 8 a.m. The team processing the leads has been gathering video and photos from residences in the area, as well as video and photos from social media, along with conducting critical interviews of witnesses and first responders. We are going through all the 911 calls and talking and interviewing residents. Daily, the components come back together in the evening to share information and ensure investigative continuity. All of this is going to take time. We know everyone wants answers, and the community deserves answers. ATF will give you those answers, but it'll be once we complete a thorough investigation. We have no timeline on when this will occur. There have been many theories floating around in the media, and I won't get into those because they are all theories at this time. ATF and the NRT and our investigative partners need to remain objective, follow the scientific method, and follow systematic approach to this wildfire investigation. We are following all the leads and processing all the physical evidence. ATF is determined to leverage every available resource to deliver a thorough and transparent investigation. When we have more information, we will provide you those facts. If you, the public, have any information to provide regarding the Pacific Palisades fire, please submit tips by texting the code ATFLA to 63975 and then follow the link to create a report. Tips can remain anonymous. Thank you.
City of Los Angeles Emergency Management Department.
Thank you so much for everyone that is here. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everyone's having a great evening. We're just kind of keeping an eye on some of the reports from earlier today, keeping an eye on the fires that are happening overnight. They're supposed to be getting some strong winds. So we're just kind of keeping an eye on things and see if there's any new information coming in. Keep an eye on the containment levels, things like that. Hopefully we can hit the goal of 100 followers over on Twitch or 1,000 followers on TikTok to move our community to the next stage. We're hoping that we can hit these numbers this evening so we can get the 24-hour stream ready, and hopefully that 24-hour stream is something big that happens, and we can get some donations for the unfortunate situation that's happening over in California. I am Sabot with Cold Cracker Gaming. This is Cold Cracker Podcast, where we go live, we play games, we do things like this, and we also make donations to other charities or communities that are in need. I am a 8-year veteran of the military, also a 15-year firefighter, so I have a background in what's going on over in Cal Fire. So I'm just keeping an eye on things and see what happens. But again, thank you so much for being here. Tap that screen, share the stream, go over to Twitch or Kick if you're not following me there, and thanks again.
The City of Los Angeles is partnering with the state and FEMA to provide a disaster recovery center. This is a one-stop information and resource center designed to assist those who have lost vital records, which could include birth certificates, death certificates, driver's licenses, social security documentation, etc. They also will help those who have experienced loss or damage to their homes or businesses with such tasks as applying for disaster relief loans. It also provides referrals to mental health counseling and other services. As of now, since the opening of the Disaster Relief Center located within the City of Los Angeles at 1 o'clock this afternoon, we've already assisted over 55 households with that recovery process. That Disaster Recovery Center will remain open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and will remain open as long as necessary to provide services to those impacted by the Palisades wildfire. Again, for more detailed information, such as locations, hours of operation, please visit lacity.gov. Thank you.
CAL FIRE.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Jim Hudson. I'm the Incident Commander for CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 2 and Unified Incident Commander for the Palisades Incident. We've had a productive 24 hours. I'm happy to report that today the fire has remained in its footprint with no growth. Crews continue to reinforce the lines, build contingencies. If there's a need for them, we will be prepared. And we are surging resources across this fire as necessary to respond to any hotspots on the perimeter or in and around or near the structures. A lot of crews, as you heard earlier, and we will continue to work 24-hour clock around the clock. Our air assets are been flying as much as possible and available. We've had good response from them and availability based on the weather, and will continue to do so, and that includes night flying aircraft. As you heard earlier, the DINS is damage inspection is occurring. We still have 25 teams deployed working as fast as possible to summarize and give a final report. When prepared, that'll be released. We also have our Watershed Emergency Response Team, or WERT, on scene. They continue to conduct soil burn analysis, and they expect that sometime late this week or the weekend we will see a field assessment completed. So that is positive also. Regionally, we are prepared for these winds. We have surge and resources into the Southern California, into the region with pre-positioning. We've also stood up a mobilization center in Beaumont, and those resources are prepared to respond to any new and emerging fires. We will continue to provide information as we get it from the incident from our fact sheets. We are making gains. You can look at our website, fire.ca.gov, for real-time updated information that is updated throughout the day. And for preparations, you can go to readyforwildfire.org to see what you can do to prepare for any new fires. Thank you.
United States Representative Brad Sherman.
Hello, I'm Brad Sherman. I represent this area in Congress, including the Palisades, Malibu, Brentwood, all of the areas affected by the Palisades fire. If you could bring that just a little closer here, a lot closer. Okay. AccuWeather is estimating the cost of these fires at between $250 and $275 billion. That will make it perhaps the second largest disaster in the history of America. I'm here to focus on the federal issues, but first I want to thank our first responders who are all here and have done so much to keep us safe. The focus here is on aid to those who have been hurt. You've got to go to disasterassistance.gov to see what FEMA can do. The first thing that will happen if you have any insurance at all is that you will get this letter. This letter is misleading. I have talked to the FEMA director 3 times. They are trying to fix it, but until they fix it, you will get this misleading letter that will tell you that assistance not allowed. Don't believe it. Assistance will be provided after you provide information about your insurance coverage. But until FEMA can determine what is your uninsured loss, the only thing that they'll disperse to you is $770. Now that amount would be dispersed right away. The rest will require them gathering information from you about whether what you're insured for, whether your insurance covers temporary housing, etc. Now, when a lot of folks are underinsured, and they are going to be eligible for a certain amount from FEMA. First, the $770 it's special. Then $43,600 to $43,500 to rebuild your home and to deal with housing issues. And if you qualify for that, the state of California will automatically add another $10,000. You can get, and these are grants, these are not loans, this is money you keep, for other purposes, including replacing your car, up to another $43,600. And that is a total of $97,970 in grants. That's a good chunk of change, but it's not what you need in order to rebuild a home if you're substantially uninsured. That's why our entire Los Angeles congressional delegation is going to be fighting to try to get those grants increased. Now, in addition to the grant program, the Small Business Administration has loan programs. For homeowners, they'll loan up to $500,000. And then if you have losses that are non-real estate losses, they'll loan up to an additional $100,000. It's a 4% loan, and payments are deferred for your first 12 months. For businesses and nonprofits who have been affected in the area, the loan amount, and the loan can be for physical damage or for economic damage, such as lost sales. The maximum loan is $2 million. The interest rate is 4%. The payments are deferred for 12 months. If, however, your business is one that's quite profitable and you could get the loan from the private sector, the interest rate is higher. But for most businesses, it's going to be a 4% loan. On the postal side, you can go to any post office, fill out the form, show the ID, and get your mail forwarded to anywhere you want. And then if your situation changes, you can have it sent somewhere else. From the IRS perspective, the IRS has, for all of LA County, whether you're affected by the fires or not, extended virtually every payment date and filing date all the way to October 15th. So check with your your tax professional, but you may be in a position to make payments quite a bit later than you otherwise would figure you would. We have a telephone town hall. It's tomorrow. You dial in that number, which I'll leave there for a second. And as the other speaker pointed out, we have a center, and people are going to wonder where it are. It's the old West Side Pavilion on Pico. It's now a UCLA facility, but it's not quite at the UCLA campus. It's open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And finally, to get information, you can go to bradsherman.house.gov. Thank you. Look forward to working with you over the long haul.
California State Assembly Member Jackie Irwin.
Well, thank you very much, Congressman Sherman. That was very informative. My name is Jackie Irwin, and I represent the Palisades and Malibu in the State Assembly. I want to start off by saying it was a week ago this morning that we saw the first flames, the first smoke from the Palisades fire. And I want to thank our first responders who have been fighting in 24-hour shifts this fire for a week. In unsafe conditions, they have saved many, many homes. And I want to thank their families also. I also want to thank the public safety, sheriff, and deputies. But what a lot of the public doesn't see is we have all these logistic folks and support folks that are right here at the command center who have been supporting the firefighters. I also want to thank the PIOs who have kept our population informed. And finally, we have our firefighters from...
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Sabot. Thank you for being here. We're covering the Cal Fire incident. I am a 8-year veteran and a 15-year firefighter veteran, so I have a background in fires and wildland fires, structure fires, things like that. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on the winds that California is supposed to be getting this evening. We're just seeing what happens throughout the night. It seems like this area, the evacuation did move a little bit throughout the night. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. We'll zoom into this far over here and see what we got, kind of winds we got going on over here.
We are also talking about a legislative package. I think what's really important is to make sure to streamline development as much as we can.
So as of the time that this report was submitted, they're looking at, I know part of the coast, they're looking at about 20 I think it was about 20 miles per hour wind, maybe a little stronger. But they are reporting no significant active fires. So they're kind of trying to contain what they have currently. Everyone that's in the stream, please share each other, and let's see what we can do for each other as we keep an eye on this fire and the situation with TikTok. What's going to happen? There's so many things up in the air when it comes to TikTok, California. Let's just have, put California in your prayers and hope for the best. I'm hoping we can hit our goal of 100 followers over on Twitch or Kick, or 1,000 followers here on TikTok, just so we can move our community up to the next stage. We will be doing a 24-hour stream. Hopefully we can hit this goal very soon, so we can do this 24-hour stream, so then any donations from that stream, and then obviously streams before that, all these donations will be going to the Cal Fire incident. So any little thing helps. Greatly appreciate you being here. Tap that screen and follow everyone that's in this live. Comment, share, all that good stuff. Again, I greatly appreciate it. If you're new here, I'm Sabot, 9-year veteran of the military, roughly 15-year veteran of the fire department. So I do have a background in things like this that's happening in California. So we're just keeping an eye on it and see what kind of what happens throughout the night. We are seeing the evacuation warnings kind of spread out a little bit here. We've been on since probably about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it does look like some of these evacuation areas up north did kind of expand a little bit. So that's what we're looking at right now. Right now we're looking at roughly about 4-5 mile per hour winds. The coast obviously a little higher. They're looking at winds picking up throughout the night, and then till about 6 p.m. California time. So hopefully with the reports and them saying they don't have any active fires or anything, too big that they can't, keep a handle on. But it's looking pretty good as of them wrapping up the day yesterday, the 14th. We're currently watching the press conference from earlier on the 14th. I'm kind of just giving out some information of where people can find the proper information, anything like that. We are currently looking at the Ian fire is 35% contained. Let's refresh this. Let's see if these numbers have changed at all. Nothing too crazy. Let's zoom back into. Let's zoom back into this area down here. So these areas, if you see the purple, these are arrows, just giving the wind direction. They were able to update the wind direction from this afternoon.
That our communities are safe, thanks to the incredible work of the guards. And you heard from the colonel over here, the National Guards men and women who are positioned there on Ventura Boulevard. There's a very heavy LAPD presence. I was able to go a couple days ago and drive through the neighborhood.
So let's take a look at the winds over at the Eaton fire and see how they're looking over there. Okay, the winds aren't too bad as of their last report. Man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine having to walk that terrain.
For me to decide. You are putting your neighbors at risk. You are putting our community at risk. And these amateur drones can and will, and we have seen this impact the ability of our first responders to fight these fires. And so if you fly a drone, you're going to be found. I know that the FBI is on the ground here in Los Angeles. You will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Do not put a drone in the air. I also want to let folks in the Valley who have been impacted by any of this know that they can call our district office in Encino at 818-380-2460. Again, let me say that again, 818-380-2460. My staff is here and we're available to help Valley residents with any of the issues that you may be dealing with as we work together as a community through this challenge. Finally, let me say one thing in my capacity, not only as a representative of the San Fernando Valley, but also as chair of the State Budget Committee. I know that we have a big rebuild ahead of us, and I want to assure folks in the Palisades and in all of the impacted communities, the communities that are impacted by this fire, that the state of California is going to be part of that rebuild. The state is working to provide resources for LA's recovery. You saw the governor yesterday announce a proposal that we're going to work through in our special session of a minimum of $2.5 billion in aid and recovery aid coming down here to Southern California. We're grateful for the governor's proposal. We're going to make sure that Assemblymember Irwin and others who are representing the communities that have been directly impacted by this have a seat at the table and are part of crafting that package of state aid that is going to come down here. And all of us, irrespective of where we live, we are Californians, we are Angelinos, we are Americans, we are in this together, and the state of California is going to be there with all of you, with all of the impacted communities for the long haul. So I want to thank everybody for their resilience. I want to thank them for listening to the first responders, for following their instructions. Thank the first responders again for their heroic work, and please stay safe. Thank you.
Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, Lindsay Horvath.
For the current state of this incident, the response is strong, it is sophisticated, and it is second to none. I extend my deepest gratitude to the more than 15,000 people who are on the front lines fighting this fire, and all of their families who provide them the support they need to continue this fight. I especially want to acknowledge the leadership of CAL FIRE on this incident, the excellence of Los Angeles County Fire, and the dedication of Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Currently, I know there are many people who are ready to be in the stage of recovery. For information from Los Angeles County on recovery, you can go to recovery.lacounty.gov. We also have a disaster response center at the UCLA Research Pavilion, formerly known as Westside Pavilion. You can go there this evening until 8 p.m. and it will be open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and going forward. We also know that we aren't out of danger yet. In preparation for the winds that are coming this evening, there may be power shutoffs for your safety. If you have power now, charge your phones, charge your batteries, and be prepared to be without power, potentially, in order to save lives and protect those who are on the front lines. I know many are tired. Your spirits may be weary, but we will not break in Los Angeles County. We're here for you.
Mayor of Malibu, Doug Stewart.
Good afternoon. I'm Doug Stewart of the City of Malibu, and I'd like to thank you for being here as we provide an update on the city's response to the Palisades fire. First and foremost, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the first responders, the emergency crews, and all the agencies and organizations who have been working tirelessly during the crisis. Your bravery and commitment in the face of such immense challenges is deeply appreciated, and we are forever grateful for your service. To our residents, I want to acknowledge the frustration and hardship you are experiencing. Many of you are understandably anxious to return to your homes. We hear you, and we're doing everything in our power to make that happen as quickly and safely as possible. However, we remain in the midst of an active fire incident. Red flag and extreme weather conditions are expected to persist through tomorrow, and crews are continuing their critical work to address multiple hazards in the affected area, such as gas leaks, hot spots, and smolders, addressing downed power lines, and ensuring overall safety. We know there's a perception that the city isn't doing enough. I want to assure you that your city staff has been working around the clock, along with our partners, to respond to this historic and unprecedented event. We are inspecting infrastructure, clearing streets of debris, assisting with damage assessments, and stabilizing the area to pave the way for a safe re-entry, while simultaneously getting everything in place for expedited rebuilds. We ask that for your patience and understanding as our teams, along with law enforcement, fire crews, and utility providers continue this vital work. We also need to address and dispel rumors circulating in the community. There is no permit for expedited re-entry into an evacuation zone. Any claims or offers to provide such a permit are false. Additionally, we are aware that some residents have hired private contractors who are requesting access to the evacuation zone. Private contractor access is not permitted at this time. We urge all residents to adhere to the evacuation orders for their safety and the safety of the crews working in these.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Again, I'm Sabot with Cold Cracker Gaming and Cold Cracker Podcast. Tonight, we're keeping an eye on the California Department of Forestry and their situation that they have out there. Again, I am a 8-year veteran of the military and a 15-year veteran of the fire department. So I do have a background in wildland firefighting. So I'm not just some wahoo on the internet giving false information. I'm here to give the information that California is providing us. We are looking at that information, and my goal is to put out the true information and answer any questions that someone may possibly have. And if I don't have that answer, maybe we'll be able to find that here.
Restoration efforts will continue tomorrow in the northwest Malibu area. Residents can also visit SoCal Gas Community Information Booth at the Pavilions Grocery Store at 29211 Heathercliff Road from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for updates and assistance. It's important to emphasize that access into the mandatory evacuation zones is not authorized at this time. This restriction is in place to protect both residents and the emergency crews working tirelessly in the area. If you have critical needs, we encourage you to call 310-456-2489. That's the city hotline. That's 310-456-2489 to provide your information. In addition to our immediate response, the city is committed to long-term recovery. Our team is also participating in the Disaster Recovery Assistance Center at Westside Pavilions, 10850 West Depot Boulevard. We have scheduled a town hall meeting for Malibu residents next Tuesday, January 21st at 6 p.m. at Malibu High School. This will provide an opportunity to hear updates, ask questions, and learn more about the ongoing recovery efforts. Again, access to the evacuation zones remains prohibited at this time. If you have critical needs such as pet recovery or medications, our city team is working with Incident Command to compile a list. We know this fire has taken a profound toll on our community. I want to take a moment to acknowledge those who have suffered unimaginable losses. To the families who've lost loved ones and to those still searching for missing family members, please know that our hearts are with you. We grieve alongside you and stand ready to support you in any way we can during this incredibly difficult time. For ongoing updates specific to Malibu, we encourage everyone to follow the City of Malibu on our official channels, Facebook, Instagram, and X at City of Malibu, or visit our website, malibucity.org/PalisadesFire. For residents and our local businesses needing financial assistance, please visit recovery.lacounty.gov or the Disaster Resource Center. Thank you for your strength, your patience, and resilience during this incredibly challenging time. Together, we will overcome this crisis and we'll rebuild stronger than ever here in Malibu. Thank you.
That concludes our formal presentation portion. We'd now like to open it up to questions from our media partners. If you have a question, raise your hand. If you could state your name and agency in question, and my partner, Andy Van Skyver, will bring the mic over to you. Okay. Close it out. Thank you very much for joining us. And a reminder that there will be a virtual community meeting tonight at 6:30. Thank you.
Who does fried chicken best, KFC or Church's?
Let's talk about that.
Gotta get a little Rhett and Link in your life. All right, let's take a look at another report. Let's see what's going on here. Let's take a quick look at the Palisade fire. See what report they have for that one. 1:30 a.m. That was that last report. Let's take a look at this one. I know they had it under control, but not too sure what happened, and they lost it throughout the day. See if the report says exactly what happened, get a better understanding. Alright, well, they have nothing on that. What a coincidence that the one fire that they, had contained, they no longer have any information on. See if the Hearst fire has any new reports from this afternoon. They're very vague with some of these reports, which is a little concerning. I mean, I've done my share of reports, and for it to be such a big fire, it's very vague. Yeah, we get it. Unified command. Same thing every time. Is it like a copy and paste type of thing? Like, what?
Sí, buenos días. Mi nombre es Eric Hernández.
No, I don't care for that.
Your cell phones, turn down your radios, take all side conversations out to the back of the briefing area. This is the current situation with night operations.
Hey, good morning, Jeremiah Whitworth, night operations. We were checking some boxes last night, working our way around the fire. We were able to get a direct line all the way around the fire and start up in the Mandeville Canyon area. Crews were starting to get some depth working around those structures and really getting in and mopping up and cleaning that line up. Same thing down in here. Calls for service went down in branch 5. Crews were out of their engines, gridding behind the houses. They set up a nice grid pattern going through the Palisades and, going out and really checking all those hot spots, getting some good PR for the folks when they get to come back in their house. We've continued to add some containment line across the bottom. The USAR folks were out yesterday evaluating and scouting their work locations for today, so you'll see those out there this morning. Division Victor, this last piece got cut out yesterday, validated, and continued to mop up, trying to get some more depth in there, hopefully to 100 to 200 feet today. Coming up here in the top of Zulu, that was slop over was completely cut out and started to move in the mop up. Contingency did some good work yesterday. They opened up closer to the 405, getting a little block on that eastern end, and then coming across the top through Topanga and blocking off Calabasas for any change. So the back door's kind of buttoned up right now, looking well.
Weather. That guy was very straightforward. We cleaned it up. We kept it moving. See ya.
Area still under red flag warning until 6 p.m. Wednesday evening. For you folks today out there on the line, that means you can expect critical fire weather conditions throughout the entire operational period. Winds and RH especially. First of all, with winds this morning, not blowing a lot right now, but those winds will pick up later this morning. Once the sun comes up, things start mixing down. You'll probably see gusts probably a little bit weaker than it's in the forecast. I would say probably this morning you'll see gusts anywhere from about 30 to 50 miles per hour from north and northeast. Then by early mid-afternoon, those winds start to diminish a little bit. Then kind of taking our impulse uptick of winds later this evening, overnight tonight. But generally, I'd say your peak gust would be about 30 to 50 miles per hour. And again, your strongest winds are going to be occurring across the western portions of the fire, generally branch 7. The other branches, you could probably knock off maybe about 10 to 15 miles per hour of your expected winds on the other 3 branches. Again, just the idea that the strongest winds will be occurring across branch 7. Humidity is dropping down today into the teens. Recoveries tonight will be little, if any at all. So again, just keep in mind critical fire conditions out there, and those winds will start picking up in the next couple hours across the fire. Fire behavior.
Good morning, James Magani, Fire Behavior Analyst. You can find your fire behavior forecast on page 4 of your IAP. There's a QR code to some fire danger indices and local thresholds for the area for your resources that are not familiar with it. Although the fire behavior has been moderated, don't let that lull you into a sense of complacency. Given the current state of our fuels and these red flag conditions, the potential for significant fire growth exists for any established fires, slop over spot fires, or new starts. You can expect dangerous or critical rates of spreads for those fires with spotting distances from half a mile to 1.25 mile and probability of ignition of 80 to 85%. Please ensure that your crews are establishing LCES as any of those significant fires can change your fire environment rapidly. Have a safe shift.
Today's management objectives: fight fire aggressively while maintaining safe work practices to minimize threats to the public and emergency responders. All actions and efforts will focus on safeguarding the residents and resources of Los Angeles City and Los Angeles County, minimize damage to structures, private and public property, and other improvements in the fire area. Ensure repopulation takes place in a quick, efficient, and effective manner. Protect natural, cultural, and heritage resources. Continue to foster and maintain positive relationships with all cooperators and stakeholders. Ensure coordinated, timely, and accurate release of public information. Ensure costs are aligned with mission priorities. Control objectives: keep the fire north of the Pacific Ocean, keep the fire south of US 101, keep the fire east of Malibu Canyon, keep the fire west of Interstate 405. And today's operational briefing.
Good morning, everybody. Christian Litz Operations. Today's briefing is a little bit easier as we move in, but still just as important. Looking at the top half of the fire, all the divisions along the top where there's handline construction, we need to get in there, validate the line, approve the line, and build as much depth as possible as we mop up and get deeper and deeper interior. Make sure and limit any kind of probability of escape. Paying attention to where we have unburned fuel within the black, so those islands, if they pick up and they burn, we want to make sure we watch those ember cast their direction and jump on any spot fires that may happen due to these winds. Just be agile and ready to move. Anywhere where we have structures in that area, make sure you're still getting behind those structures, up and getting some depth behind there as well. So we don't have any adverse damage to these structures this far into the incident. Coming around where and then the bottom half of the fire coming all the way into the Tango side here. Make sure you're still being diligent with those structures, paying attention to the ones still standing. Again, we don't want any damage to these structures this far in the incident. We understand things happen, but be agile and ready to get on that as quick as possible. Support those USAR teams that are out there doing their business. So if you get asked to do something, go help them out, please, as much as possible. Contingency is still up on top. They're still working just because the wind threat is there. It's going to help us not only on this side, but also in the future. But they're also, if we have new starts coming from the top coming in, now we have a new set of primary line that they have constructed. It'll help us out as we go in. We still have the structure defense groups out there, so all the 3 structure defense groups just still working those structures, prepare for the future, but also be ready to respond to anything. Be agile out there and be prepped to get moving quickly so that we can keep any new starts small. Today, I'd like to go ahead and thank the medical. So even at this stage, we say fight fire aggressively, but provide for safety first. I expect you to still be aggressive. That's what makes every single one of you great at what you do is your energy and your dedication to what you do. But the backside of that, we can do that because we know medical is going to come out there and give us the support we need if somebody gets hurt. So you are the number 1 priority. So thank you very much. Stay safe.
Roll call, resources.
Good morning, Larry Becerra, Palisades Resource Unit Leader. Please turn to page 2 in your IAP for the 203. Briefing at the Malibu ICP in Branch 1, Mr. Secretary, how is this not adjourned? With Horton Training. Division Alpha, TISO, with Broussard Training. Division Charlie, Weddle. Division Foxtrot, Delio. And the Mandeville Structure Group, West. Branch 5 also at Malibu ICP, Branch 5, Vias. Juliet Morris with Delgado Training. In Division Mike Hildebrand with Alpha Marino Training. USAR Group 1, Malin. USAR Group 2, Lewis. USAR Group 3, Peck. Branch 7, Wink. With
there being 67 members
Division
present,
Papa, Bennett.
there is no quorum as
With
required by
Fernston
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota.
And in Tango,
The House may not conduct any further
with
business.
Jorgensen
House of
Training.
Representatives
Mr.
is
Secretary,
adjourned.
in uniform, Cazal. With Dutton Training. In Victor Spindler.
So I would say what's different
With Busher Training.
higher threat
In the Topanga Structure Group, Top. With Matos. Branch 10, Craig.
I would say we have a
With La Monica
slightly
Training.
robust security plan. We've been planning for this event for 12 months, along with our partners.
In
It's an
Zulu,
ever-changing
Ryan.
threat environment.
With
And so
Lorenzo Training.
we stay flexible. If we see that,
Contingency
hey, we need
Branch,
to
Matthews.
shore this particular
And
checkpoint up,
Ornelas.
we do that.
West
So
Contingency,
it's
Peterson.
different. We've learned.
With
This is our
Resende.
5th NSSE.
And in the East
This year,
Contingency Group, Didi.
The Washington Field Office.
With
Now, it
Curtis
is true.
King.
This is acknowledged.
Thanks, have a good shift.
Air operations.
Good morning, everybody. By the Team 2 Air Operations. If you guys turn to the 220 in your IAP, you'll see the full list of aircraft we have available to you today. Still over 40 helicopters assigned to the incident, as well as a large contingent of fixed-wing aircraft to support you guys. We still have the 3 UAS modules available that are here to provide you guys on the line intel, including identifying those IR signatures as needed. Please place your request for aircraft from your line leadership. Please make sure that everybody is monitoring that air-to-ground, maintain that situational awareness where aircraft are working, and stay well clear of the drop area. Thank you.
Medical.
And if called upon, winning wars by ensuring our warriors
Good morning, Fred DeAquisto, Medical Unit Leader for the Palisades Incident. You can find your medical plan in your IAP on page 39. As always, I know I beat this drum, but please review this with your guys all the way down, your personnel all the way down to the lowest level. It's very important. Everybody understands this. Everybody's been doing a great job at getting us the information we need to make these resources request appropriate to get out to the line for whatever needs you have. Let's keep up that good work. Yesterday was a great day. We didn't have any line injuries. I don't want to jinx myself, but keep up that good work. We really appreciate it. Peer support's been moved to a trailer that's at the north end of engine parking. They're clearly labeled. You can see them. They're right along the boardwalk if you need to contact them. CalMax in the same location on the beach in the brown tents just past feeding. And if you have any needs or any questions, feel free to contact me in Taylor Row or at the number at the bottom of the medical plan. Have a safe shift. Communications.
Good morning, Susan Perez, Communications Unit Leader for the Palisades. If you'll turn to pages 40 and 41 in your IAP, you'll find the 205s for today. Utilize those 205s and your 204s for your tactical frequencies and any special instructions listed. Radio techs are available in both camps for radio cloning, for repairs, and equipment checkout. Thank you.
Safety.
Good morning, everyone. Ryan Danielson, Palisades Safety Officer. You'll find your safety products on page 5 and 6 of today's IAP. We are currently and continue to be in a red flag warning. Please have a plan for IA starts. We are very active in the operational area. Communicate that plan and be ready to go. Hazards while working in and around the structures as we progress in this operation, they still exist. They do change every day. Evaluate your operational area. Communicate those hazards. We're dealing with electrical hazards, secondary collapse, gas, respiratory hazards. We do have masks available for you in supply. As far as PPE and decon is concerned, we've dealt with a lot of eye injuries. We have iPro available to you. We're concerned about your PPE. We have longer facilities to the north in the ICP. Keep up on that on your decon.
I'm just afraid.
Clean your cabs, please. I know it may seem redundant here day after day, but we need to keep up on our cleanliness. Those are the carcinogens that
Let me just say this. I think
driving.
President Trump is
This has been our biggest inject every day, all day, and we continue to have
President
issues.
Trump
I'd like to share
would
with you
stay in the
yesterday
car and
at a
forego
traffic
the
control
walk,
point, we
I
had
would
an
be
officer
comfortable.
who had their foot ran over.
I have not been briefed in on
We
the
did,
security
crack
plan.
down
I wish I
the driver responsible
We
for
installing you
that.
though.
But we do get
Close your old business
steady
bank
flow
account and get
of
this
speed.
banking app
In and
instead.
around the
It's called
incident,
Found, and it's a banking app.
base camp, all the traffic
Mr. Chairman,
control points. Please
could you tell me
adhere
what the
to all
qualifications are for
your,
the Secretary of Defense?
driving speed limits.
I'd be happy.
Lastly, we
I'll
do
read
have,
it.
paper
Let me
available
read
to
it.
you
Because I
briefing area. These are high stress, complex incidents, and take a moment to check in. Thank you.
Finance.
talk about his qualifications, not Lee.
Good morning, Cesar.
The Secretary or be the Secretary of Defense, and yet your qualifications aren't any better. You guys aren't any more qualified to be the senator than I'm qualified to be the senator, except we're lucky enough to be here. But let me read you what the qualifications of the Secretary of Defense is, because I Googled it. I Googled it and went through a lot of different sites. It really is hard to see, but in general, the U.S. Secretary of Defense position is filled by a civilian. That's it. If you have served in the U.S. Army Forces, been in the service for, you have to be retired for at least 7 years, and Congress can weigh that. And then there's questions that the senator from Massachusetts brought up about serving on a board inside the military industry, and yet your own secretary that you all voted for, Secretary of Austin, we had to vote on a waiver because he stepped off the Puerto Rican.
Please drop them off at comp lanes. Thank you and have a safe shift.
But I guess that's okay because that's a
Liaison
Democrat.
wants me to ask for any private fire agencies, please meet up at the front. One of the liaisons will tie in with you. And a message from our information officer.
Senator from Virginia starts.
Hey, good morning. Thomas Hughes, Public Information for the Palisades Fire. I got some quick update on the number for you if you want to turn to page 48. Got some acreage and containment. Acreage for this morning, 23,713 acres. 23,713. We're at 17% containment, and we have 5,200 personnel out on this fire. In the PIO shop, we get to be on the receiving end of a lot of love and support that we're feeling from the community.
But it's for
So I
show.
wanna express that to
You
you
guys
guys.
make sure you
The
make a
community
big
is so
show
very
and
grateful
point
for
out
everything you guys are doing out there.
hypocrisy
The
because
media
the
is out
man's
and
made a
about.
mistake.
We know we have hundreds of
And
media
you want to
partners
sit there and say
all
that he's
around
not
this fire as we have all
Give me a
week.
joke.
We're doing our best
It
to
is
address
so
all of their
ridiculous since you guys hold yourself at this higher standard, you forget you got a big plank in your eye.
Just know that
Mr. Chairman, this video hit over 50 million views. Here's how you can create a video like this in seconds with AI. First, open the Lavenza app, upload your photo, and enter the prompt. Download Lavenza now and try it out. No funny AI videos like this.
Found anything? The box is getting bigger and bigger. We're right across from a blue trailer that's on the road. That's an easy way to find us. We have the blue trailer as well, so you can go in there, or the white trailer right across from the trailer. Reconnect you with the stuff.
Closing comments with our unified incident commanders.
Good morning. Thank you to the incident management team for that very thorough briefing. Just to reminder, all the overhead that was listed in branch 1 and 5, they are at the other incident base. So on the roll call, they are getting the same briefing over there. To all the resources that are here, us on behalf of the unified commanders, we want to thank you for your level of cooperation and support. Many of you traveled from long distances. I was talking the other night to a crew from Colorado, and they were telling me about their drive here. They had to go through 2 snowstorms to get here. And I was just in a level of awe, the amount of support that all of you have provided to us in our time of need here. And as you move out there today and tomorrow, as stated by our weather, today and tomorrow is the time that is critical for us to move forward in this incident. As we're testing those lines out there, improving the lines, and mopping up in and around those structures, we need to remain vigilant in those work assignments, and we need to get through this so we can move forward. Additionally, as mentioned by safety, I just really wanted to hammer home, we have a lot of people out there working on the infrastructure to get everything back up and running along those areas that are in and out of the fire area. So please keep an eye out for those public utility partners. They're working at a feverish pace. We just want to maintain that situational awareness and watch your speeds. And stay safe out there. Take care of each other. Thank you for all that you do.
All right, as you look around the back of the briefing area, you'll find your branch and division breakouts. If you are an unassigned
Good evening, Christian Litz, Operations Section Chief for CAL FIRE Team 2 on the Palisades Fire. So today, I had the opportunity to take a flight in a helicopter around the perimeter of the fire, and I saw no active flames. But I'm telling you now, that doesn't mean we're out of the woods. We still have a lot of work to do. There's still some isolated heat sources putting up some smoke along the edge of the fire. We did use copters today to help those ground resources to get to those seat of those heat sources and to put them out. Talking on the top half of the fire here, Montanito area, coming across the Piuma Canyon into Tuna Canyon to the Fernwood Topanga. Again, crossing over to Topanga Oak, Sylvia Parks, up on Dirt Mulholland. That's where the edge of the fire has gone into vegetation. We still have crews all along that line, reinforcing the line, improving everywhere they can, and then getting deeper and deeper into that burnt area, searching out those isolated heat sources that we can make sure and lower the probability of any kind of escape out this fire. In those neighborhoods that I mentioned, we still have resources going around, cleaning up and mopping up behind the structures. Mopping up meaning searching for those heat sources and putting them out using waters, hand tools, anything they need to do to make it happen, to make it safe and protect those structures from any kind of adverse fire effect from there. Coming around from Mandeville Canyon down to Riviera, coming along the coast of Pacific Palisades, Topanga Canyon, Las Flores, and Malibu. We have resources all along those structures, again, behind the structures, making sure that line doesn't move, making sure that we take care of any isolated heat sources, combing everything they can, concentrating on the buildings that are still standing, still making sure that days later we still do not have any effects of those buildings, and working really hard and getting all the way inside the interior of the perimeter of the fire as we come around. On Pacific Coast Highway, we do have resources in there. Edison and power companies making the roads safe again, clearing the rubble around, using the road department to do that, and improving all the infrastructure. We can't let people into the area until the infrastructure is up and the area is completely safe, because we're here to serve the public and make sure they're safe, number one, to protect them and their property, and we want to make sure we continue to do that. Coming up here on the left side of the fire, up around the Franklin Burns scar, we still have black on the line there. That's going to remain, but we have resources still watching around the area. Again, we're ever vigilant to make sure that we don't have any unwanted events. And then we're back up into the Montanito area. All around the fire, still we have that contingency group. That means that we have resources out there still constructing line. So just in case if anything happens, especially in the wind event, we have options as we go forward. Always I say, we plan to keep it small, prepare for anything else. We do have the wind event, so we have also structured defense groups out there that are going around all the neighborhoods outside of the perimeter, building structured defense space around their structure, meaning clearing things around, maybe going to the structures and pulling things around, and just building that plan for everything that might happen in this wind event. Then they're also available for any news starts that we can respond to quickly and help the situation out and keep those news starts small. Thank you.
We've had 45,000 people.
Next up, our incident meteorologist.
About 11 years, and that's out of 36.
All right, good evening. Rich Thompson, incident meteorologist with the National Weather Service, assigned to the Palisades incident. Weather-wise for the area, for the next 24 hours or so, we're still under a red flag warning. Red flag warning is in effect for this area until 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. That means you can expect overnight tonight and tomorrow morning increasing Santa Ana winds across fire, along with humidities remaining very low. So that's leaving the recipe for critical fire weather conditions, and those critical conditions will continue until 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, hence the red flag warning remaining in effect till then. But by tomorrow night, I expect those Santa Ana winds to decrease in strength, and then we'll actually, for Thursday through the weekend, we get returned to a more normal, typical sort of weather pattern around here with onshore sea breezes, cooler temperatures, higher humidity. So overall, it'll be definitely 2 to 3 days of a break from all.
I mean, you can kind of say that.
The last 7 or 8 days. However, going into next week, it looks like had another round of extended Santa Ana winds across the area, anywhere from Sunday night through about Wednesday or Thursday. So something I'll be watching closely.
Oh, crap.
See how that's going to work out. But definitely looks like more Santa Ana winds on the horizon for early next week.
Next up, Los Angeles Fire Department.
Good evening, everybody. Joe Everett, Assistant Chief, Los Angeles City Fire Department, part of the Unified Command here at the Palisades Fire. Let's see. So, again, I'm so amazed by the resilience.
There we go.
People of the Palisades and Malibu. One quick story I told earlier today, walking around. Fellow public safety member happens to be part of the IMT team that's working in one of our areas, works for the Los Angeles County lifeguards. Asked how he's doing. He said pretty good, despite the fact that he lost his house, lost his parents' house, but he is determined to help the community rise from the ashes. That's kind of the resilience I'm talking about, the type of effort that we're doing collectively to help overcome this. That's being said, let me get down to business. We do, as you heard from our weather expert, we do have still some weather, so I ask you to be vigilant and follow all potential orders or warnings that we may have.
I just need like 30 more minutes to hit my 8 hours.
Our top priority right now is ensuring the safety as we start planning for the repopulation.
I think I'm going to have to start over again because the 14th was the last day. So I think I'm going to have to start over again because I hit everything but the three viewers.
Repopulation coming up soon. Once we're complete with that, we'll start gathering the wagons with some of our city partners, some of those being DWP, Gas Company, Public Works, and LA City Building and Safety. They'll be able to go in.
That's why I think these people have like a copy and paste, like community meeting sheet, because each thing is the same crap.
To achieve that goal, to get people repopulated, and we'll keep you updating. We'll keep updating as information becomes available. For more update information,
what you got going on?
To emergency.lacity.gov. and also LAFD.org. We'll also have more information on that particular subject as we go on with this meeting tonight.
Yes.
A quick reminder that if you have any questions for us, you can put it in the chat. We will circulate those questions, try to find the best way to
Gotcha.
answer it. And if we don't get to your question here, we'll work to answer it either tomorrow via social media or through our meeting tomorrow night at 6:30. Next up, Los Angeles County Sheriff.
Yeah. Hey, I'm never going to turn down a free design.
I'm going to provide everyone with a few stats from the Palisades Fire. Currently, we have 139 Sheriff's Department personnel working this operation, along with 8 National Guard soldiers and 4 military vehicles. In addition, we have 12 CHP officers assisting us with 9 hard road closures and 2 soft closures. The curfew remains in effect from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. For the mandatory evacuation zones. As you know, the curfew is in place to enhance public safety and to protect property as well as prevent looting. In total, the Sheriff's Department has arrested 8 individuals for various charges ranging from unauthorized entry into a disaster zone, narcotics, curfew violations, and so forth. We currently have 6 missing persons reports, all adults, which are being investigated by our detectives. Sadly, I have to report that there are 5 confirmed deaths in the Sheriff's Department's area responsibility.
Yeah, it also, I had to do like, it said 5
were deployed
streamers on some list or some crap. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I just want to stream. It's like, oh, you got to do this and do that. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Mr. Thompson mentioned, we are under a red flag warning, so that we ask that if you're under an evacuation order, that you be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice. That means packing your necessities beforehand, before the order is given. So, with that, we ask that you please be prepared. Thank you.
Next up,
Gotcha.
Los Angeles County Fire.
Good afternoon. Robert Harris, Unified Incident Commander. Just wanted to give the community just a few numbers as well. As of today, we've
Ooh, that's fancy.
35% of our damage inspection reports for the Palisades Fire. This means that you can go now to recovery.lacounty.gov to view the inspections that we have completed on this fire. Please note that these inspection reports will be updated daily, so that you may, if you don't see your address or it shows as not completed, you can feel free to go back and check it again daily until your property is populated there. In light of the current red flag conditions, we just wanted to impress upon the minds of our community members that we are still not out of the woods as of yet.
Gotcha.
We just ask for your continued patience. There may be some power shutoffs, and this is only to protect the community and to prevent any other large fires from growing in the area. Additionally, we would ask any of our homeless population that may be in this presentation to please not start any warming fires tonight. Please seek assistance from Los Angeles County or Los Angeles City to assist you in housing for the evening. Additionally, we want to again just thank the community. I know that again this is a very painful process, just waiting to get back.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're gain access to your house, and we know that. And again, we're going to get you back into your community as soon as possible. But at that point, it will be safe for you to do so. Thank you.
Next up, Los Angeles Police Department.
Good evening, Captain Morgan with Los Angeles Police Department. I want to start by letting the public know that as we enter into another period of high winds, we remain deployed and ready to assist with additional evacuation should the need arise. Starting tomorrow, I'm pleased to announce that LAPD will be partnering with Team Rubicon, a private, nonprofit, governmental organization with volunteers that will be present and available at traffic control points to provide additional information and share information to community members and the public. For the upcoming 24-hour period, LAPD continues to deploy hundreds of police officers to this site impacted, along with the support of the Los Angeles Airport Police, Port Police, Department of Transportation, and National Guard, who provided 500 soldiers at this point to assist with the Palisades incident. We're very grateful for their support. On the topic of missing persons, we're still actively investigating all reports of missing persons and have dedicated resources to this. As of 3:30 this afternoon, we've reported 35 missing persons, 20 of whom we're pleased to be found safe. 2 have been found deceased. 13 remain unaccounted for, but none are presumed to be deceased at this time. In total, we have 3 fatalities that we have been fire-related. On the topic of arrests, LAPD has made 14 arrests with a number of violations ranging from failure to comply with the curfew to impersonating firefighter and police officers. We have 3 recent noteworthy arrests outside of the fire zone, where our officers are working tirelessly to mitigate the risk to the rest of the city of Los Angeles. On Sunday night, North Hollywood officers responded to an arson suspect call and arrested an individual who was booked into our Van Nuys jail. Monday night, we had 2 additional arrests, one in West Valley and one in West Los Angeles, where arrests were made on both of those incidents as well. With regards to animal services, we continue to provide support through the city with 311, where you can call and ask for the West LA Animal Shelter to add your home or pet to the list that we are continuing to check on. On the topic of curfews, we continue to have a curfew in place, again, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Anyone found to be in violation will be arrested without exception. And in closing, I just want to reiterate that our department remains committed to the recovery efforts, and we're very grateful for the patient's cooperation and support of the community. Thank you.
Next up, Los Angeles County Office of Emergency Services.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of the Los Angeles County Emergency Operations Center and Coordinated Joint Information Center. As we continue on the road of recovery, we wanted to share some updates that you may find useful during this recovery journey. Disaster recovery centers and local assistance centers have opened today at 2 locations to assist residents. The West Side Center, located at the UCLA Research Park, and the East Side Center, located at Pasadena College Community Education Center, are one-stop shop centers where residents can find help navigating the recovery process. These centers offer resources for financial assistance, housing, funds for repair, and more to help individuals, families, and businesses. Visit recovery.lacounty.gov for location information and hours of operation. We understand there are many questions that you may have regarding the recovery
that's pretty
process.
cool.
Continue to visit recovery.lacounty.gov for updates and future announcements. Finally, Los Angeles County thanks everyone who has shown overwhelming generosity in our time of need. Thanks to you, our donations are at capacity and have helped many of those affected. As we transition to recovery, we encourage those who want to help consider monetary donations to the number of organizations.
I think this is actually the first time that the chat stuff actually worked on Streamlabs.
Consider donations to trusted, verified organizations such as ENLA, the Emergency Network Los Angeles, the American Red Cross, the Salvation Army, and the California Community Foundation. Financial contributions are the fastest, most flexible, and most effective method of donating. These proceeds go to organizations on the ground who know where the need is and support local businesses that support local economies. Thank you.
Next up, City of Los Angeles Emergency Management Department.
My name is Brandon Silverman. I'm a captain with the Los Angeles City Fire Department, and I'm here on behalf of the City of Los Angeles Emergency Operations Center, or EOC. I'm currently assigned as the Assistant Joint Information Center Manager. The EOC is a large facility located in downtown Los Angeles that serves as a nerve center during various large-scale incidents and events. It provides for multi-agency coordination of resources and information to support response as well as recovery. The goal of the EOC is to coordinate the overall city effort to support field operations, restore essential infrastructure and services, and return the city to normal operations. We also oversee recovery efforts. We have officials from every city department as well as representatives from supporting agencies and organizations under the same roof to help facilitate everyone's goal of mitigating this disaster, and we're all working to go through the recovery process together. While our EOC was initially activated to support emergency operations since the onset of this incident, we have fortunately now been able to shift our focus to the recovery phase. As we're all aware, it will be a long and challenging road to recovery. However, we want to assure everyone that the City of Los Angeles is here to support you every step of the way. Some initial steps that can be taken now. Visit lacity.gov for information and resources related to recovery, and access the LA Wildfire Recovery Resources 2025 link at the top. Start a damage assessment claim. This can also be accessed at the lacity.gov website.
Gotcha.
You will also find information for assistance for individual families, property owners, businesses, and housing services on this website. The City of Los Angeles is partnering with the county, state, and FEMA to provide a disaster recovery center in the location in West Los Angeles. This is a one-stop information and resource center designed to assist those who have lost vital records, which include birth certificates, death certificates, driver's licenses, social security documentation, etc. To help those who have experienced loss or damage to their homes and businesses with such tasks as applying for disaster relief loans. The center will also provide referrals for mental health counseling and other services if so needed. As of this afternoon, since the opening of the Disaster Relief Center on the west side at 1 p.m. today, over 55 households have visited the center and started the recovery process. This resource will remain open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and will remain open every day, and we're talking weeks, not days, as long as necessary to provide services to those impacted by the Palisades wildfire.
Yeah.
Again, for more information, please visit lacity.gov. The location of that west side location, Disaster Resource Center, is 10850 Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. Thank you.
That concludes the formal presentation portion of this. We've got some great questions online, so we're going to jump into that. I'll go ahead and start it off.
So this is the longest 15 minutes of my fucking life. Jesus.
If you go to
I'm like, I look at the time, I'm like, okay, 15 more minutes. And then I'm like, okay, it's been like 30 minutes. And it's like, oh, it's only been 5. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
The map with the latest fire perimeter, shows the current evacuation zones, and also has the damage inspection map.
I'm gonna fuck around with shit now.
Some other questions regarding the air quality and water quality. I'll start with the air quality. We have what's called a link tree in our bio on YouTube. What you do is you click on our bio, you'll see a link to the link tree. It has all kinds of great resources, air quality, water quality. It has links to our partners at LAFD, LA County Fire, LAPD, and LA Sheriff. And really, it's a good way to find quickly the information you're looking for. So when it comes to air
on your
water,
stream,
just click the link in our bio for YouTube, and you'll be able to find the information you're looking for.
No?
We'll turn it over to our ops for some additional answers to questions you guys had.
All right, good evening. My name's Landon Hack, and I am one of the ops section chiefs.
Oh, yes. Yes. That I can answer. That I can definitely answer because it's pretty amusing listening to how fast you type. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, I would still be on the first fucking letter. All you would hear is more backspace than fucking keys.
So broken up over the entire state of California, and we have responsibility for what's called state responsibility land. So it's land outside of the U.S. Forest Service, federal agency jurisdiction, and then outside of your local fire department's jurisdiction. And how it relates here is outside of the city, LA County, we contract with LA County for the protection of that. We contract LA County to protect that, and so that gives them a nexus to us through that agreement. And then we have our incident command teams. We have 6 of those, and they're all rigged.
This guy says on the community meeting, he said, if anyone has any questions, put it in the chat and we'll answer right here. So he reads off a question in YouTube.
The next question I have is
So when they had their community meetings on YouTube, it's like a live feed, so you can type in questions and stuff. And someone asked how, like, what is the air quality like? Do they have to worry about air quality right now and stuff? And the answer to that question was, you can go on our link tree and find the air quality and water quality there. What is the fucking point of telling them to ask a question if you're not going to fucking answer it right there and then?
Over towards Pacific Palisades, down on the Pacific Coast Highway.
Like,
when we refer to the containment, that is a percentage of the entire fire perimeter, is what that number represents.
And this, I swear, I tell the wife all the time, this is why I don't fucking go out. Because stupid people like that, like...
Drones we use for several different things. We have drones that we can put up in the air that give us infrared signatures so we can see heat in the middle of the day where something might not be actively smoking.
I was going to message Wildland to see if he wanted to be a guest on the podcast tomorrow to talk about the Cal Fire and all that. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't know. That would be a good idea.
They can't see the ground because, again, that infrared allows it visual through the smoke because it can see through the smoke. So they can see the ground and the fire's edge, communicate that to the resources on the ground that are trying to attack that fire so they know exactly where the fire's edge, and it helps them out that way. Got a lot of them here. So next question is, what is the difference between handline and line construction? So handline is the removal of, handline is a break in the fuels from the edge of the fire. So handline construction is the process of putting in that handline. So it's a removal of flammable vegetation from the fire's edge back a certain distance based on the height of the fuel. So the higher the fuel, the wider that handline needs to be. The bulldozers do the same thing, just mechanically and quicker. But the bulldozers are limited to terrain, so they can't go down into steep terrain too much. And the last question I have is there.
I'm a fan.
Fire.
I'm a fan, good sir.
So there's no active fire right now in the sense that you're going to see, any of the big fire runs, flames going up a hillside. The fire right now is contained inside. It's being held inside of the perimeter that we've built with the hand line that I explained, bulldozer line, and then the hose lays that the firefighters have put on the ground. But there's still active heat along the way. So that's what they're in there working on right now, trying to remove all that heat, all the stump roots and, just ash material that's burning.
Oh, big fan of it.
So that it cannot get into the flammable vegetation anymore.
Hello again, Christian Litz Operations. So we got a couple more questions here. How do I access the PSPS areas and potential shutoffs? You can go to www.sce.com and visit
2 more minutes.
the outage map.
2 more minutes. Thank Jesus.
Are gas lines destroyed? Yes. So when I talk about infrastructure repair, this also ties into when people could repopulate the areas where they live. We talk about we have to make the areas safe. So infrastructure is everything from Edison or the power lines from gas company to everything that's utility. So water, everything that is infrastructure, that's what we're talking about. So all those have been damaged in the neighborhoods, in the Palisades, Temescal Canyon, and anywhere that there's been substantial damage with the structures. How are you caring for wildlife? So whenever we come across injured animals, whether it be wildlife, domestic animals, anything that we find, we take it very seriously. We care about the animals in the area, especially the wildlife. So we call animal control, and they're the experts in the situation. They'll come up, get the medical care that the animal needs for, and also work on returning the domestic animals back to their owners. We had several questions about if certain areas are safe and if there's any threats. So specifically, the questions were referring to Sherman Oaks, Santa Monica, Brentwood, and Crestwood. So if you look at the fire footprint of the fire in the last 24 hours, it has not moved, even though there's a lot of heat sources around the edges that we still have to work to improve the lines.
Chad, I appreciate everyone being out here.
It still has not.
We are calling it here at Coal Cracker Podcast for the night. We will see you again in the morning, hopefully with some answers on what is going to happen with TikTok. So I should see you around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, thank you so much for being here. And as always, till next time.
When could we repop? 3 questions. Is Rustic Canyon, Topanga...